G'day, Glenn Morris here from the Smart Energy Lab. Guess what? I'm not in the lab. Yeah, full confession. I'm actually in Henan, which is an island in the South China Sea, and I'm in the city of Sanya. I've come to visit this amazing system from SIG Energy, and I thought I'd tell you a bit about it. I'm kind of excited. It's their new Sigen Stack system. Anyway, I'm just going to run you through it. Let me sit down for a moment. Well, first up, welcome to Toolbox Tech Talk. Yeah, it's even though I'm in China, I'm still going to give you the content. And I'd like to shout out once again to Charles from Waiheke Island for the cool t-shirt. Hey there, Charles. Love the t-shirt. If everyone else wants to send me their favorite t-shirt, I'm happy to wear it on the show. Yeah, it's always good. And I am in sort of holiday mode, so I'm here on a bit of a junket. I've come to see this system, and so here is my little tipple, just something, a little refreshment to keep me going. So let me tell you a bit about what I've come to see. So Sigen Stack, if you're not familiar with SIG Energy, is their latest expansion of their range of products. So I've got a Sigen Store system on my home. I love it. And it can be scaled to huge sizes. I've seen a 3 megawatt hour system in Spain and a 4.2 megawatt hour system in South Africa just recently. And here in Henan, I've come to see a 5 megawatt hour system, but using the Sigen Stack. Now, the Sigen Stack is really built for CNI. There's a separate hybrid inverter and a separate battery pack. So it splits the two. It's not an all-in-one solution like the Sigen Store. So what's special about the system I've come to see? Well, it's actually on a fish farm. Yeah, so growing fish in Henan is a big deal. It's probably been done for eons. It's surrounded by ocean, warm ocean. If you're not familiar with the geography of China, the South China Sea extends right down to near Vietnam. And so Henan is just kind of parallel with Vietnam. So it's pretty tropical. I'm here and it's 31 degrees, 83% humidity. That's 31 degrees Celsius for those who are coming from another continent with different ways of measuring temperature. I'm not sure what the Fahrenheit on that is. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I remember. But yeah, it's pretty warm. And it's a great place for fish to be growing. But the challenge is the electrical infrastructure is kind of being stressed a bit. Henan really got its independence in about 1988, and prior to that it was a very sleepy sort of place. And so it's rapidly grown, but the electrical infrastructure hasn't grown as fast as the industry that's being located here. So companies are struggling with power. So this fish farm has put in 6 megawatts of bifacial roof-mounted panels directly above all the tanks where they breed the gropers. Now, wow, check it out. Those gropers, they're pretty awesome. They're really hungry little fish. They take them from fingerlings right up to ready to sale. The bifacial panels mean there is filtered light coming into the building. So it's not panels on a roof, the panels are the roof. But they also need the storage because, of course, they need to run all the pumps continuously, night and day. And so they've got pumps running at nighttime and therefore having that, 5 megawatt hours of storage allows them to run all through the evening from renewable energy. So renewable energy during the day, stored and then supplied out. But the other big challenge about this site, well, there's a bunch of them actually. Well, just getting to it, it's a very narrow site. The building itself is right next to some ponds, some really big drainage ponds, and there's really only a metre of space. And it's on sandy soil. You couldn't drive a tractor or probably even a forklift along there. So everything has to be done by hand. And also the space available for the battery system was really just a metre or so of space, and you needed to have a walkway there as well. So one of the advantages of Sigen Stack is it's so modular. The units are 12 kilowatt hour battery modules, and they can be stacked up to around about 250 kilowatt hours per inverter. And the inverters come in 50 right through to 125 kilowatt PV inverters. Now there's two models of those PV inverters. There's an HYA, which is PV only with self-use, and there's HYB, which is for off-grid. So it can do both self-use and off-grid. That's pretty cool. So this system here, being right next to the ocean, it's actually only 300 meters away from the ocean, is a high salt-rich environment. In fact, the fish farm is just full of, ponds with salt water pumping, and I'm sure the atmosphere is rich in salt atmosphere. So the C5 corrosion rating, so it's a C5M corrosion rating of the Sigen stack, means they've got a real advantage when it comes to this kind of environment. So the challenges being very narrow space available, and also the ability to bring in modular systems, which you couldn't normally bring in a containerized system, for instance, just not room for it, or you couldn't even get a crane in here. The humidity and temperature, so like I said, it's like 31 degrees today, but it's also very humid. So the system needs to cope with those sort of conditions. Now, looking at the spec sheet, it says that the operating range for the Sigen stack is from -20 to 55 degrees Celsius. And boy, in direct sunlight, that's pretty hot. But of course, they have put some shade cloth up just to keep the direct sun off the inverters and batteries. But I was interested to see that the battery modules themselves actually are actively cooled. They've got cooling fans on them. So they're designed for really hot environments. The other thing is they work at high altitude. There's a system of Sigen stack already installed on the Tibetan Plateau, which is 4,500 meters high. So high altitude, not a problem. High temperature, not a problem. High salt mist environment, not a problem. Of course, it's IP66, so it can be outdoors, not a problem. Those are all pretty impressive features. Now, the modularity means not only can you build the units up to a total of 21 12 kilowatt hour module blocks, it's around about 250 kilowatt hours per inverter, but you can parallel multiple inverters together. And in this case, to build a 6 megawatt PV, 5 megawatt hour system. And that's done by using a gateway. Now, the gateway is the unit that they combine all of the units together to act as one. And when I say act as one, they can also act in an amazing way, which is they can provide continuous power even when there's a grid outage with 0 millisecond interruption, no interruption. Just like Sigen stack can do this, just like Sigenstore can do this, so can Sigen stack. That's pretty amazing. In fact, I must admit, I thought it was impossible. I didn't know that you could go from being a voltage source to a current source instantaneously, but there is some black magic there. There is a white paper from Seginergy who explain how they do this, and that's pretty impressive. So being able to switch that quick. Now, I believe the gateway is a 2.4 megawatt gateway, but they do custom gateways, and people have even built their own to get greater capacity. Now, one of the real advantages of having an inverter and battery module DC coupled, that means that the solar PV, which is DC, is being converted and directly charging a high voltage battery pack, means there's very few losses. DC-DC conversion, very efficient. It also means your inverter capacity doesn't have to double because you've got an AC couple a solar inverter with an AC coupled battery inverter. It's all DC coupled in the one unit. Now, they're using a 1,250 volt DC architecture. So that means the strings are running at some serious DC voltages, which once again improves efficiency because higher voltage, lower current, same size cables, less losses. That's a winner. They've also got a arc fault circuit interrupter that works at up to 500 meters. So even though you can have long runs of DC cable, they can still detect an arc on the PV array side and safely shut down to protect against fire. That's really cool. Now, just like Sigen stack, they have integrated layers of protection. In this case, there's 6 layers of protection. Now, they've done some testing with an independent body called Intertek, and Intertek tested their systems, including heating a battery module until it caught fire, and as a result, it didn't propagate to other modules in the stack. So that's another level of confidence. So if there was a calamitous failure it's not going to propagate and become really huge. So that burn test was really amazing. Now, Seismic is available in Australia right now. It's probably available in other countries as well, because I'm here with around about 250 people from all around the world. I've met a wonderful group from Romania. There's a lot from China. In fact, China is a really big part of the energy storage market for many companies, including SIG Energy, because China has struggled with some of the same problems that many developed countries have, which is that sometimes industry grows faster than infrastructure. And so they need to be able to deal with capacity restrictions by installing solar and battery storage. So a lot of interest. And we had a really great talk yesterday in the evening explaining, well, it wasn't Chinese, but they had a real-time translator with little earpieces so we could actually understand everything, explaining what the challenges for the Chinese grid were and how many of those challenges Australia has seen as well. But I think we're probably a little bit ahead with some of our solutions. So things like CSIP AUS, being able to ramp down energy generation in real time when there is too much renewables on the grid. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying myself here, learning about the product, but also I'm hanging out with a bunch of Aussies. There's actually 15 of us here from various companies in Australia, and we're having a bit of fun as well. So we just got back from Monkey Island, where there's lots of little macaque monkeys waiting to be fed. And yeah, that was quite an interesting trip. So yeah, Toolbox Tech Talk is a bit unusual today. I'm afraid it's not my usual tech kind of thing. It's me just telling you about some product, but I feel it's important to explain the benefits of different products. And this is just one of the many that I get exposed to at the Smart Energy Lab. I'm really looking forward to actually getting my hands on a SigenStack and getting to know it more intimately, what the installation process is like. So yeah, that's something to watch for in the future. So this is a bit of a short one because I don't really have all my usual facility around me. I'm sitting in a hotel room. So I'm just going to give you the quick summary of what's been happening, and I'll be back in Australia next week. So I guess my Toolbox Tech Talk next Sunday will be a regular one, and I guess DJ Glenmo will be back for that rather than me filling in for him as I have done a few times. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next week. Check it. Hey!